spend or invest thousands and thousands of dollars on like finding the right tutor or finding the right English
Strategy.
teacher, like finding as many courses. Like I was doing everything I could, and still it wasn't enough. Because when I was with real people, I would just freeze, right? Like I could like speak to a coach or a teacher, but then I was like with native people, and I was like double like second guessing myself
Yeah.
all the time, right? Like I was like, oh, are they understanding me? Am I making the right vowel sound? Is my R clear enough? Is it like so I
Yeah.
was speaking and I wasn't enjoying the conversation. I wasn't even paying attention to the other person, like the person in front of me. I was just like questioning myself about my performance.
And tell me, what do you consider to be your greatest achievement or transformation, starting with Crisol?
At the beginning of this year, I realized that one, I was using more English with myself than I was using Spanish. So
Uh,
when I noticed that, I was like, oh my God, I like now my brain is used to using the language, right? And I don't know if this is good or not, but now there are some words that are not as precise in Spanish as they're in English. And I only have the word in English, and I'm with my parents, and I'm like, oh, like, what's the word in Spanish for this? Because I want to use it as
yeah,
specific.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I ended up like normally I end up
Like looking for the,
explaining
yeah.
what I wanted to say. And that was a really nice achievement. But also, I noticed that I started being less harsh on myself. Now I enjoy it, right? Like now I feel that it's part of me. And
Yeah.
what I've noticed is that now that I'm not being as harsh on myself, I'm just enjoying it more. I think it's more about building up. You know that I'm into personal growth, growing a little bit every day. Some of the terms or concepts were already there, but I think I wasn't embodying them, right? They were there. I knew the meaning, but you helped me like put those concepts into practice. You were just asking the right questions just to make me reflect on myself and my effort. As I said, like noticing my improvement instead of looking for what is missing all the
Missing.
time, right? If people recognized my effort or that my accent wasn't as thick or hard to understand, I would be like, yeah, but I still need to like to nail this sound, or I still need to learn these 200 phrasal verbs, and I like, and so every time I will receive a compliment, I will try to find something that was missing. I know I have these tools, I can use them, and I noticed that if I had those words, I was like, okay, what can I do with this? It's like having some ingredients and then trying to create a nice dish with what I had.
Yeah, like embellish it and appreciating it,
Yeah.
instead of seeing the gaps, you saw the gain,
Yeah.
the
And
gain of
then
it.
the gaps, I realized that they were just opportunities. And it's not that I'm gonna hide them, but
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I know this is what I need to focus on. But if I don't get it right at the first time, it's
It's
okay,
okay.
right? Eventually it'll come. And you were also one of the videos I remember where was about like just focusing the 20%, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes you like you want to focus on everything that is wrong and you want to fix it in a week and it won't happen, right?
Yeah.
So when you were like, okay, Jessica, yeah, this is what we're going to focus on, and then we can move to the next thing. I think that took so much heavy weight
Off you.
of me. Yeah.
Yeah. The Pareto's principle.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because usually it's like 80%, it's like grammar, precision, evaluation, and 20% is speaking. But here we did it the other way around. We did like speaking, listening, improvisation. activating, and 20% structure, precision, focusing on mistakes, improving, right? So
Hmm.
I'm glad that you remember that because that's very important in
Yeah.
life, just with everything, not just with English, right?
I would start by saying that I recommend it to all the people that I knew, like yeah, to all the people that it was like that were trying to learn English or improve what they already had. So yeah, like my experience was so good and so fulfilling
Mhm.
that as soon as I heard someone like being like, "Oh yeah, I want to speak, I want to learn English," I was like, "Whoa, I have the answer for you," right? I think it is really efficient, I would say, because you don't have to spend hours and hours and hours practicing. But
Yeah.
what I was saying, if you focus on what's on the 20%,
Yeah.
eventually you'll feel the difference. I don't know how you did it, because I took, as I said, as
Mhm.
as you like you have no idea how many
Mhm.
courses and classes and worked with different teachers, and I always felt that something was missing. And
Mhm.
now with what I have, that I know that I haven't reached the native
Mhm.
accent, I haven't reached perfection, because now I know that it doesn't exist.
Mhm.
I'm aware of what I can do with what I have, and
Mhm.
then the rest, I know that little by little I can
You can
add it.
continue.
I think it's just part of using it in a way that is helpful, and little by like at the beginning I was like, yeah, I need English because but if I want to live in the States, this is what is going to help me, right? But but little by little, and I used to criticize the language in a way. Like I was like fighting the language all the time because I knew that I was putting the effort,
Yeah.
but it wasn't paying off
Mhm.
according to my
Yeah.
own
Mm.
criteria. So sometimes I just like I come back to what I wrote and I'm like,
Mhm.
oh my God, what's that mean? Like it sounds so profound.
Yeah. I remember when we were in a session and I was like, in 3 minutes, you're gonna write a poem. And it was like, I felt like I wanted to cry when I heard what you wrote. I was like, that's so deep and so beautiful and everything, like the structure, so artistic. And I said, wow, that is embodying English, right?
Yeah.
And you said to me, like, right now, you just said, like, oh, Nancy, I don't know how you did it. What, like, what do you mean by that? Because you said, like, I've taken so many courses and
Oh
programs,
yeah, yeah.
whatever. But what was the idea behind it? But I
Yeah,
didn't know
like
what.
because you took away all my doubts, because
Mhm.
I took all those courses and pretty much they all say the same, right? Like your mindset 100% affects your result. And I
Mhm.
knew that,
Mhm.
but I wasn't applying it. I knew it
Mhm.
and I thought that I was doing it,
Mhm.
but as I said, I thought
Mhm.
I was fighting the language and I was
Yeah.
resisting and I was trying to be perfect.
Mhm.
And like then we started working together and I received kind of the same information, but now I feel it. Now I know that I'm doing it. Now
Yeah.
I don't feel all this pressure. Now I'm okay with making mistakes. Now I'm okay with repeating myself. Now I'm okay with asking the person in front of me to repeat themselves, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I'm
Yeah.
just right now I'm speaking and I'm not even like second
Guessing yourself.
guessing
Yeah.
myself, which was a big issue.
Yeah,
Now
I
I'm
remember.
here and maybe I've done like I've made some mistakes. And sometimes I realize it and I just like fix it in the moment. Sometimes I don't, but
Mhm.
I feel comfortable and I'm paying attention to our conversation, no
Mhm.
to my grammar mistakes, not to my
Mhm.
no, I'm not paying attention to if like to my accent, if I sound too Mexican or too
Mhm.
native, like
Mhm.
I'm not
No,
doing that. So just
you're
taking the
loose.
pressure out of my brain is just
Mhm.
like so like it allows me to show up in a different way.
Yeah, to express yourself in a different way, like
Yeah, because I
you're more
remember I
loose.
told you I
Mhm.
didn't remember this because it hasn't been there for months, but
Mhm.
I remembered I told you that at some point I stopped speaking. So I was using as less words as possible,
Mhm.
like in just using like monosyllables, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
people will ask me a huge question, I will be like, yeah, no, just
Mm-hmm.
because since I didn't want to make a mistake, since I didn't want people to notice that my accent was different, uh,
Mm-hmm.
what I decided to do was only giving small answers just to play safe. And
Like,
now
mm-hmm.
it came to my mind, but like I forgot that that used to happen. And like
Mm-hmm.
I know that losing your like the power of your voice a really big issue, and I was doing
Mm-hmm.
that to myself, and
Mm-hmm.
you helped me bring my voice back.
Yeah, bring your voice back. The that your voice is valuable and you shouldn't be shunned, right?
Yeah.
I also think just experiencing English through without thinking of English, just like talking about other topics and enjoying it and getting into that mode of relaxing, it's very important. So
Yeah, as I
yeah.
was saying, to me, English was the goal, and little by little, I understood that no, that's not the goal. The goal is to create better relationships, to maybe get a better job, to live in a country where you can communicate, where where the language is not a barrier, or if you live in your own country and you listen to music or you watch a video or a movie or whatever, then
Mhm.
the goal is to enjoy it, and then the language is just there to help. That if you enjoy the process, like if you put effort on it and then just leave it, and then it'll eventually it'll pay off. As I said,
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be about perfection. If you leave that out of the room,
Mhm.
I think that all the heavy stuff that you're carrying will disappear, and you could actually put energy into what's important. And also, I think that, or something that I learned, your voice or your message is not for everybody, and that's okay. So if you're at work, well, yeah, like you need to use it, but don't get too hard on yourself if you're not invited to the after party or
Mhm.
whatever, right? If like
Yeah.
as in Spanish, we're
Mhm.
not friends with everyone around us. Well, in English,
Yeah.
just the
It's the
same, but
same thing.
it's weird because we're using another language, and it's
Mhm.
like now
But
we want to be approved by every single
everybody.
person, and
Yeah.
in Spanish we don't need to do it, so it doesn't
Yeah.
even make sense.
It doesn't make sense. We take it personally. We think like, oh, it's because of my English that they don't
Yeah,
like me,
yeah,
right? And it's
we
like,
blame our
no, it's
English
just
for
because
pretty much
it's
everything.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
stop apologizing. Because
Yeah.
I remember that once I told you, like, Nati, every time I speak, I'm like, well, maybe you won't understand me, or
Yeah.
maybe, like, sorry if you don't understand me. Please ask me if you need to repeat myself, whatever. And you told me that, Jessica, if that's your first line, what you're gonna do is that people will focus on your
Um,
mistakes or will focus on trying to evaluating you all the
yeah.
time. Because that's like
Hmm.
your opening line, right? So you were like, no, no, no,
Yeah.
like you know, like if eventually they ask you to repeat yourself or you weren't clear enough, well, they will let you know in a way. But don't use those as your first words because
Yeah.
everything you'll do is attract their attention to what's missing instead of what
Yeah.
you have.
And as simple as when I correct people and they say sorry, and I'm like, no, thank you for your correction.
Thank you for doing this, for all your help, for all your support. Now
Yeah.
I'm like I'm in a really emotional era. So I'm crying all the time for no reason, but thank you for your words. Thank you for all your support and
Mhm.
for taking me out of my box.
Mhm. You're welcome.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Nati.